So all of us, we are looking for learning new techniques whereby we can change our behavior. But behavior is a product of attitude, and attitude is created by beliefs, and beliefs reside in the mind. So is it possible to learn new techniques where we can change our beliefs, which would in turn change our attitude, and the attitude will result in new behavior? So how can we learn these new techniques? So let's first analyze that how do we learn? What is learning? So when we think about learning, the image which comes to mind is of a classroom where an all-knowing professor is standing and the students are sitting with their notepad and pens ready. But could learning be defined as a long-term change in behavior which is based either on experience or it's based on stimuli? And this stimuli could be something that we are consciously aware of, or it could be something that we are consciously not even aware of. So let's analyze them one by one, because in case it's possible to understand how do we learn, then maybe it's also possible to unlearn. So let's first analyze the learning that we are consciously aware of. So I'm sure all of us, we can move our hands like this. This is something that we have learned since childhood. Now imagine a scenario where this learning is of no longer use to us. So we need to move one hand in one direction and the other hand in the opposite direction. Can we do it? You want to try? Like this. So it's not easy. It can be done, but it requires practice. It's not easy. The point is that the earlier learning is so strong that unless this learning is unlearned, or unless we learn how to learn new techniques by passing this learning, it will be difficult for us to learn new techniques. Let's take another example. Earlier in my career, I used to cover large territories, being in sales job, and I used to travel by car a lot. I used to cover whole regions, whole territories, and it used to be a pain in the body everywhere, because driving on Indian roads that time was a real pain. So whenever I would get a chance to let somebody else drive, my friend or my colleague, and I would get a chance to sit on the left passenger seat, as in India it happens, and my friend or colleague would be sitting on the right front passenger seat and driving, I would be so happy. Oh, today I'll relax. But then I realized that it had its own set of problems, because whenever there would be a need to apply sharp brakes, which used to happen a lot during those times, my right foot would immediately start pressing the floor, because this is what I had taught my right foot to do in that particular situation. And this learning was so strong that however hard I may try not to do that, it would automatically start doing that. So and it was very uncomfortable. So this is something that we are consciously aware of, and now we understand how difficult it is to change behavior even when we are consciously aware of that behavior. But what about the behavior that we are consciously not even aware of? Is it a possibility? So Harvard has a project called Project Implicit, which conducts implicit association tests. These are online tests free of cost, and I suggest everyone to take these tests. What these tests do is they test us on our biases towards people of other religion, other gender, other country, other race, work and home life balance, and hundreds and thousands of people have taken these tests so far. And what these tests suggest is that all of us are biased. If we have a brain, we are biased, and we are consciously not even aware of it. See, our brain has a capacity to receive 11 million bits of information in any given minute. And out of these 11 million bits of information that our brain receives every minute, if I ask you to take a guess that how much information are we consciously aware of, then what will be your guess? It's actually 2000. So out of 11 million bits of information that our brain receives every minute, we are consciously aware of only 2000 bits of information, and the balance 10.998 million bits of information also programs us. This is the information which creates biases in our mind without our conscious awareness. It creates those certain algorithms in our mind which we continue follow throughout our life, and the efforts that we make to change our behavior generally become unsuccessful because we are unaware about the algorithms which have been created by the information which is outside our conscious awareness. And unless we unlearn these algorithms, it will be difficult for us to change our behavior. Let me give you an example. So there's a saying which goes like, a man is known by the company he keeps, simply because the company gives us so much information, the company we keep, that it creates algorithms or biases in our mind, and we are not even consciously aware of it. In case you know somebody who was earlier very rational but has suddenly become very radical towards people of some particular religion, some particular country, some particular caste, a particular race, then maybe the reason is that that person has been spending a lot of time in company of those people, and that is the reason he has suddenly become very radical. Or another example, a person who has recently shifted to a new neighborhood where maybe the atmosphere is not that good, where people abuse each other a lot, then suddenly you find that that person also has started abusing a lot, simply because the information which we continuously receive programs our mind to start behaving in a particular way, and we are consciously not even aware of it. So how difficult is it to change our behavior when we don't even know the algorithms that we have which are responsible for that behavior? So this is what we learn in the next chapters.